Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the homestead, Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. Today I'm getting back to making some candy. Here in this pan, I have a bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips and 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. And I've got them over on the low heat of my wood stove. It's just starting to melt, and I'll let that take its time and melt over here. Then you take a 9x13 pan, line it with foil and butter that. And what I'm making is what they call Bing candy. And I don't know if you remember, and if you're my age, you probably do, but the chocolate covered cherry filling candy bar that you used to be able to buy. And that had, the chocolate covering had nuts in it. Very good candy bar. So that's what this is a homemade Bing candy. So I will melt this. Half of it will go into a 9x13 pan, spread out. Then I will melt up, it's 1.5 cups of sugar, 12 large marshmallows, a half a cup of butter, 1 5-ounce can of evaporated milk, and a bag of cherry chip pieces, which is just like your chocolate chips, only cherry. And sometimes those are harder to find, so you have to maybe look online. The bigger cities, you might be able to pick those up. I'm not sure. So then I will, in another saucepan, I will combine all that and cook it and stir it over medium heat until it's melted and it comes to a boil, and I'll cook it 5 minutes, stirring it all the time. You remove it from the heat. You pour it over that chocolate that you've half spread out in your 9x13 pan, and then you will spread the rest of your chocolate over that and let it set up and chill, and they'll cut in nice little bars. So that's what's happening here. I'll bring you along later. This is the center for the Bing candy. I'll let this melt and cool a little before I pour it over my chocolate. So I was supposed to stir my nuts into my chocolate. I forgot for the bottom layer, so I'm going to just sprinkle the nuts on, and the rest of them will go in to what's left for the top layer. Next goes on the cherry layer with the marshmallows, the butter, and the sugar. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed watching make the Bing chocolate candy. It's sitting in the fridge right now. It's getting cold, so I can cut it in little square pieces, and it'll be kept in cold storage just because of the chocolate. That way it's easier to handle, but it's a very simple recipe. But one thing I do suggest, when you get to the part where you're making your marshmallow and your your sugar and your water, your carob syrup, use your best quality kettle, because I didn't. I used an enamel and it kept wanting to scorch on me, and that's partly because of my range, my propane stove. I really don't care for this one. It came with the house, and it's hard to control the heat. So it gets too hot, and there's not a way that you can really turn it down much. So use your best quality, watch it, or it's going to scorch on you before you put your cherry chips in. So just a little tip there to watch. And you want to keep stirring it while you're doing that. So that's the little tip for that. But it's really a good candy. It brings back the memories of those Bing chocolate candy bars that you could buy. And I'm sure a lot of you remember them. So next we're going to go ahead and make peanut brittle. Homemade peanut brittle with raw peanuts. Actually, I think I had Spanish peanuts. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the package, but we'll go ahead and start boiling that, and I'll take you step by step and you can see that. I hope you're enjoying all these little Farmhouse Christmas candies, cookies that I'm doing. It's just what I do, and I thought it's fun to take you along, bring you into my farmhouse kitchen and let you see how I do things here on the homestead. So thanks for joining. Okay, folks, round two. We've got some peanut brittle. I've got the 2 cups of sugar, a cup of light corn syrup, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a cup of water. And that's in here. I'm going to cook it till the sugar dissolves. Then I will stir in my peanuts, my raw peanuts. And then you will stir that until it comes to 295. Remove it from the heat. Stir in the butter and the soda. And quickly pour it onto your buttered pan, which I have ready here. So I will get this going, and I'll bring you back later. So we've got all the sugar, corn syrup, water melted, and I added the peanuts, and now we will wait for the temperature to go up to 295 on the candy thermometer. Then I will remove it from the heat, and I will add my 2 teaspoons of baking soda and 4 tablespoons of butter, and immediately then pour it onto my greased, buttered cookie sheet pan. Okay, we're still boiling. We haven't reached, we're about 225 now. Still needs to go to 295. And you want to start out with a fairly decent sized pot and a good quality pot, because when you dump in your baking soda, it's going to foam up a little bit, and you want lots of space for that to happen. We're getting closer. We're getting close to 275, and this is kind of what it's starting to look like. It's a little browner, a little thicker. So it won't be long, it'll be ready. Okay, so I've added the butter, and I'm about to add the baking soda, and you'll see what it's going to do when I start stirring it. So here it is. It's dumped out on the buttered pan, and when it cools, it will break really nice into big chunks. And there's your homemade peanut brittle. Hey folks! Thanks for joining me today in the farmhouse kitchen. And we got 2 candies done for Christmas ahead of time. Here is the peanut brittle that I made. And I've been using the meat hammer and just breaking it up in kind of the right size to put in your mouth. Maybe for 2 bites at one time. And I'll be putting it in my tin. I just want it to air dry just a little bit more. I think it's plenty dry, but it's ready. It's so good. It's light, it's fluffy, it's crunchy. This batch turned out perfectly. So make sure when you're boiling that you get that up to that 295, and then put in your butter and your 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and stir it as fast as you can and pour it out. And if you have to, you can use 2 forks that are maybe even dipped in butter to spread that out on your pan, because it does start to stiffen up pretty quick. So peanut brittle's done, ready to go in the can. And here is the chocolate Bing candies. And I don't know if you can see this. I'll turn it around here. And it is yum. I'm going to go ahead and just cut them in this pan with this, and then set them out in my cold storage out on my porch where I keep a lot of the candies and whatnot for Christmas. It's very simple. One thing I do want to tell you though, when you are making the cherry mixture for the center of this, use your best quality kettle. Stainless steel or copper bottom. Use your best kettle and a good size kettle, because when you're done boiling that and you put that baking soda in, it wants to foam up. So, but mainly use a really good quality kettle, because it's hard to keep your marshmallows, your corn syrup, and water and butter. Let's see, did I have the butter in there? From scorching. So even though you stir and stir, it wants to scorch, and that might be just my oven. My stovetop gets very hot. The burners they're hard to control your heat. So, but that's one thing I would have done different, is used a better quality kettle on that, because I was using an enamel kettle, and that's just not as good a quality for doing something like this. It all turned out great. It's perfect. And again, the chocolate, I got busy making videos and did not stir all my nuts into the whole kettle of my chocolate and peanut butter melted. So I had already spread out my bottom layer and realized I had done that. And so I just sprinkled some walnuts on top of that chocolate before it was set. And then I put the cherry mixture, and then the last part of the chocolate and peanut butter, I did stir in the walnuts right into the chocolate. So it's on, mixed in the chocolate here on the top. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed those two little recipes today that I did in my farmhouse kitchen. Right now, I'm getting ready to take apart one of my old oil lamps and clean them up. They were from my folks, and I got a new jug of oil in the mail today from Amazon, and it's called Clean Heat oil, and I want to wash up my oil lamp, get it cleaned up, put that in, get the wick changed out, and put a little essential oils in that oil. And I'm going to set it here on this little prim table, and in the evenings I want to start lighting that, just to light this end of the house and a little comfort, and then also it will be ready if we do have power go out ever this winter. It'll be all clean, ready just to light. So that's my next project. I think I'm done with the cookies and candies today, but I want to thank you for stopping in and joining us here at the Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. And I know Cowboy doesn't get on the videos that often. He's not quite brave enough yet. We'll get him there. It might take him a while. He'll let me video or take pictures to show what he's doing, but as far as sitting in front of the camera like I'm doing right now, he's not quite ready, but I think eventually he will be. I try to show him, all you folks out there in YouTube land, how it's going and how it's a team, and I think he'll eventually do that. So, but we're both together here, we're a team together, and we work at it. And the little corner that's out of here right now went with Cowboy out the door. That and a big chunk of peanut brittle just a few minutes ago. So he's going to get some more of his tin for his shop, the inside. He's going to put that on the top, on the ceiling. And so he took off with the pickup and trailer for that. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up a couple projects and that oil lamp. And we will be back for another video at the homestead, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, click subscribe, click like, comment below, help me get my channel up and going as much as possible. I appreciate that. It's all new to me on the YouTube. I'm used to doing my Facebook page, which is Prairie Girl Farm, and there's a lot more little shorter clips there, a lot more pictures, a lot more just happening on the homestead. I try to get it in my head lately to turn the camera on and do little video clips that I can run together and show you, but still I'm not into the editing at all. I need to have some of the kids probably show me that, hopefully at Christmas time. We'll see while they're here. So it's all the raw footage, and I apologize for all the bloops or drop of the phone or whatever happens to happen, and it does happen. So you're just getting the real deal here, folks, and I just want to thank you for popping in. Take care, God bless, and we will chat tomorrow. Bye-bye.